Red tide is hitting the beach hard. From the smell to the coughing, Fort Myers Beach is feeling the effects. A live report in just moments.
Remembering a police officer shot while on the job, how the community is refusing to let his family feel alone during this difficult time.
And growing fast, burning everything in sight. A great-grandmother and 2 children die in this huge wildfire. The latest from Northern California in just moments.
Live from Southwest Florida's news leader, this is Wink News at 6:30.
And we'll get to those stories in a moment, but first, let's check our weather. Wink News meteorologist Brooke Silverang is keeping tabs for us tonight. Brooke.
Well, we do have some scattered rain and storms still across Southwest Florida. A little bit more widespread from Arcadia to LaBelle to Immokalee. And we're still looking at the little storm that we do have sitting in parts of Lee County, mainly east of 75 and even west of 75. So we do have a storm developing off of Fort Myers Beach, producing about 4 lightning strikes there. But this one that we did have in the Cape, crossing over into Fort Myers along the Caloosahatchee, has weakened. Now we're not noticing as much of the way of heavy rainfall or as many lightning strikes as earlier. But for North Fort Myers, still dealing with rainfall rates at about 2 inches per hour, sitting very close to the Suncoast Estates, and some moderate to light rainfall there still sitting along the Caloosahatchee. There's that storm I was talking about producing multiple lightning strikes, moving away from the beach areas there, but we're still watching the chance for some more rain as we go into the next couple of hours into the early evening period, and then we will get a little bit of a break as soon as we get past 9 o'clock. So still some light to moderate rain along Bonita Springs down to Golden Gate, looking dry for Naples at the moment, but keep the umbrella close by. Again, as I mentioned, still the chance for some scattered rain and storms as we see the sun set this evening around 8 to 17 p.m. Temperatures holding into the 80s, and I'll let you know what else to expect the rest of tonight and for the start of the new work week.
Brooke, thanks. What should be a busy Saturday at the beach is anything but. Very few swimmers wanted to take a dip on Fort Myers Beach today. And here's a big reason why. Dead fish lining the sand and a nasty smell in the air. Red tide is making it hard for a lot of people to breathe. Wink News reporter Morgan Reiner went to see how bad it really is.
It is really bad. It has been a beautiful Saturday afternoon here on the beach, and people are just staying clear of the water. And here's the reason why. Take a look at this massive pile of dead fish. Piles like this span the entire beach line, and it smells like rotting fish. The cough sets in shortly after stepping onto the beach. But not only is it affecting people, but businesses are feeling the effects as well.
Like dead fish everywhere. Everybody's coughing. I work at a jet ski stand and I don't get any business anymore, man. Like it's horrible.
Quinn says after being out on the water for a few minutes, he is itchy all over his body. He says you can easily see thousands of dead fish while on a jet ski. We also spoke to people vacationing here who say they booked their vacation up to 6 months ago, and they say they're unsure if they're going to come back again next year. On Fort Myers Beach, Morgan Reiner, Wink News Now.
Morgan, thank you. A community comes together to rally around a police officer shot in the line of duty.
They just do so much for us, and we just want to show our appreciation.
Adam Jobbers Miller remains in the hospital recovering from serious injuries. He and his family are getting overwhelming support, even from total strangers. Wink News reporter Chris Grisby met with some of those people who refuse to let this family down.
They're our first responders. They're there for us as quickly as we need them.
Support for Officer Adam Jobbers Miller is pouring in from communities all over Southwest Florida.
He deserves it. He's out there risking his life every single day for us. The least we can do is come here and cheer him on to get him better.
Wingnuts Restaurant in Cape Coral is raising money to show their support for this officer still fighting for his life.
The whole community is pulling together in support to support our officer, Adam Jobbers.
From a dunk tank
I really didn't think you were going to get me.
to a bounce house, this restaurant is thinking outside their walls to help a brother in blue.
You know, we ask that everybody just continue to pray for him because prayer goes a long way. And, you know, he is in God's hands, and we believe that he will get better.
Reporting in Cape Coral, Chris Grisby, Wink News Now.
The fundraiser at the Wingnuts in Cape Coral continues until 8 tonight. Officer Jobbers Miller is still listed as critical but in stable condition.
Breaking now, an active shooter at a busy mall turns out to be crooks trying to rob a jewelry store. The chaos unfolded in McAllen, Texas, not far from the Mexican border. The mall was locked down briefly after reports of shots fired. Police say that sound was actually glass breaking inside the jewelry store. No one was hurt, and police say all of the suspects were arrested. Right now, at least 14 people are missing in Northern California, where wildfires have already turned deadly. New in the last hour, we're learning a woman and her 2 great-grandchildren were killed. That brings the current death toll to 5. The massive car fire is 80,000 acres and growing. Wink News reporter Katie Nielsen is in Redding, California.
Firefighters set backfires to help them get the upper hand on the car fire in Northern California. At 80,000 acres, it's now the largest of more than 20 wildfires burning across the state.
We're by no means out of the woods. We have areas that are still threatened, still evacuated, and we're really at the mercy of some of these winds.
Officials say strong winds picked up, fanning the flames overnight, and the fire grew by 35%. A local shopping center is deserted after 37,000 residents left the fire zone. But some homeowners vowed to stay put as long as possible.
Check it every once in a while and take a look to see if I can see anything active going on.
Firefighters are also battling triple-digit heat, which makes it much harder to get these fires under control.
It takes a lot of effort to pull your body through 110-degree weather and do the job that we're supposed to be doing.
It's a heart-wrenching scene for families caught off guard by the fast-moving fire.
I miss home, and I'm hoping that nobody else loses their house or their life.
So far, the wildfires now burning in the state have chewed through more than 160,000 acres. Katie Nielsen, CBS News, Redding, California.
More than 5,000 homes are threatened right now. We're pushing for more answers on what happened at the IHOP near the Bell Tower shops in Fort Myers. This was breaking on Wink News this morning. Several deputies were on scene overnight. They taped off the restaurant, but we're still trying to confirm what exactly happened. Trust Wink News to let you know as soon as we learn more.
And new tonight, troopers are investigating a crash that killed a Naples man. FHP says 28-year-old Krister Zydax lost control of his pickup at Recreation Lane in Wesley Circle around 4:30 this morning. He ran off the road, hitting a stop sign, then a fence, and eventually a tree. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A North Fort Myers man is dead in a motorcycle crash. It happened just before 2 this morning along US 41 just north of Pine Island Road. A man driving a motorcycle hit a raised concrete curb and flipped his bike. The motorcycle then slid more than 100 feet and pinned the driver underneath. The driver's name has not been released because investigators are still trying to notify his family.
New this hour, a new fire truck is on the streets helping to keep everyone safe. The San Carlos Park Fire District rolled out their newest engine in grand fashion during a push-in ceremony just this morning. Engine 52 was wet down, wiped dry, blessed by the department's chaplain, and then pushed backwards into the bay by a team of firefighters. This push-in ritual dates all the way back to the 1800s.
And new on Wink today, North Fort Myers held its first ever art walk. Dozens of artists were on hand at Hancock Bridge Square, displaying everything from spray painted artwork to weaving. Food vendors were also there, passing out local treats. Organizers hope the event brings more people to its area that's badly in need of a boost.
It's refreshing to see the community out here supporting us like this. It couldn't be better. And, you know, all the artists are happy that we're doing this. So I think it's something we really need.
Organizers say events like this will help fund an art center and hopefully transform North Fort Myers into more of a destination people want to go to. Another art walk is planned for October.
Back to school with Wink. The Gulf Coast Town Center threw a big back-to-school bash, helping a lot of kids. This morning's event kicked off with a scavenger hunt that allowed 100 students to fill up brand new backpacks with free school supplies. They also held a fashion show full of simple tips and tricks for looking classy this upcoming school year. And with all of the humidity, we spoke with one of the stylists at today's event on how to maintain your hair.
I think the main thing is just keep it simple. You know, use just a little bit of product because it's going to be hot. It's humid outside, so less is more. You know, when you're putting too much stuff on, it gets real greasy real fast.
Good to know. Definitely need some help in that category. School starts back up on August 10th. Trust Wink News to help get you and your kids ready for the new school year.
And public shoppers will have a harder time taking their dogs into the grocery store with them. New signs are posted at stores saying only service animals trained to aid those with disabilities will be allowed inside, and no service animals are allowed to sit or ride in shopping carts. A company spokesman said that this has always been their policy, but now they're trying to make customers more aware.
Still to come, it's been 2 years since the Club Lou shooting took the life of one Lehigh Acres athlete. But today, his impact is seen in the Stephon Strouder Memorial Showcase. Plus,
I make 2 or 3 rescues every summer.
And age is only a number, right? Well, still ahead, Wink News introduces you to an 85-year-old lifeguard who still got the skills to keep people safe.
And find out when we'll see a break in the rain and what to expect for your Sunday coming up after the break.
Wink News is the weather authority. We are seeing rain this evening. Will it continue through the rest of the night?
Well, no. So the good thing is a lot of the activity is beginning to wrap up, but we are still seeing a few more storms developing off of some showers. You know, it's kind of what we get this time of the year when they push off, and we have the outflow boundary with that. And this is what we have as a result. We do have a thunderstorm off the coast now, moving away from Sanibel, moving away from the beaches, but it is producing.
Brooke, thank you. New right now, a fight over a parking spot ends with a man dead. Julio Ramos faces murder charges for stabbing Oswald Zambrano. Fort Lauderdale police say Zambrano was parked in a handicapped spot outside a daycare when Ramos started yelling at him for parking there. The argument got heated and police say Ramos stabbed Zambrano, who died 10 days later.
Loved ones said their goodbyes to a man in a different parking lot dispute that's shining light on Florida's Stand Your Ground law. Marquise McLaughlin was laid to rest today in Largo. He was shot and killed by Michael Draga last week in a similar dispute over a handicapped parking spot. There was a physical fight between the two men before shots were fired. The Pinellas County State Attorney's Office is deciding whether Draga will face charges. Senator Bill Nelson has asked the Department of Justice to look into this case.
And new right now, a dangerous prank leaves a teen with serious burns. It's the latest internet challenge that's getting popular with kids. The so-called hot water challenge involves drinking boiling water or pouring it on a friend. It's already killed a child in Florida. Recently, it left an Indianapolis teen with skin peeling off of his body. 15-year-old Kylan Clark says when he fell asleep, he says his friend heated up some water and poured it on him. It was supposed to be a joke.
And then, I looked down at my chest and my skin just fell off my chest. And then I went in there and I looked in the mirror and then I had skin falling off right here, on my face.
When the damage was done, Kylan suffered second-degree burns to his back, chest, and face, and he spent a week at the hospital. And doctors say it's possible to end up with permanent disfigurement from these burns, or if you swallow the hot water, the burns to the airway could kill you.
Rain in the All-Star game today, but I know you probably have some news for us about rain and weather, Brooke.
Yeah, we do have some rain and storm activity that we have going on. We have some storms still developing off into the Gulf now, so the good thing is it is moving away from the beaches, but putting on a lightning show out there. So there it is, rolling away from Fort Myers Beach, away from Sanibel, but notice all the lightning strikes, so keep the umbrella around for tonight.
All right. Well, thanks for watching us. We'll see you back here at 10. Have a good night.